All right, UFC Fight Night Vegas 93, Perez versus Taira is this weekend. So I'm going to go through every single men's fight on the card, break it down, give my predictions on who I think is going to win and how they're going to win. I went 10-1 on the card last week. Only fight I got wrong was Daniel Marcos and John Castaneda. So let's see if we can keep the hot streak going into this card. First fight, Melquizael Costa versus Shaylian Nuerdanbieke. I was really considering Shaylian here. I like the explosiveness. I think he's really strong. He's going to have a power advantage over Costa. Really hits really hard. He's really well-rounded. He's got a lot of experience. Obviously, so he's got 50 fights. This guy's got a triple-double. He's got double-digit KO finishes, double-digit submissions, and double-digit decisions. So he's putting up Westbrook numbers. But I got to go Melquizael Costa for one main reason. Both these guys got KO'd by Steve Garcia in their last fight. And Shaylian has had over a year layoff. Costa's been a little more active. I like that. And I think the X factor in this fight is going to be Costa and his kicks. I really like his body kicks. He's got really fast, powerful body kicks. And Shaylian, in his fight with Steve Garcia, was finished to the body. So I think the body's there to be hit. I like the kicks of Costa. I think he's going to be able to keep Shaylian at range with his kicks and with his jab. I like the slight reach advantage for Costa as well. And I just think he's a little more hungry at this point in his career. He's younger. He's more active than Shaylian. I do like the experience of Shaylian. I like the KO power. I like the explosiveness. I could see him getting in there and chinning Costa. But I am going to side with the body kicks, the really powerful kicks of Melquizael Costa to keep Shaylian at bay and to work that body, soften up that body, and I think win by decision here over Shaylian Nuerdanbieke. Next fight, Jeka Saragih versus Westin Wilson. Saragih making his UFC debut, tapping into the Indonesian market here against Westin Wilson. I got to go Saragih over Westin Wilson. Now, Westin Wilson is really tall for the featherweight division. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. But the problem with Westin Wilson is his striking sucks ass. He cannot strike. To save his life, he's going to want to submit Saragih. Westin Wilson, he's just chinny. I mean, he got dropped like 3 times in his last fight against Gene Silva. I can't trust your chin against a guy like Saragih, who's going to be blitzing in. He's really explosive, really quick, and he blitzes in. He finds that power shot on your chin. And it won't be hard to do that against a guy like Westin Wilson. He's a guy who would get knocked out by watching another guy get knocked out. Just very easily KO'd. So I got to go Saragih. He's just too powerful. Westin Wilson striking is a little subpar. He's proven time and time again he's not UFC level. He'll probably get cut from the UFC after this. But got to go Saragih. Just too powerful. Westin Wilson too chinny. Easy fight to call. Next fight, Josh Quinlan versus Adam Fugitt. Or Adam Fugitt. I'm going to go Josh Quinlan over Adam Fugitt. I think these odds are like a pick'em on some sides. I've seen this at a pick'em, -110 for both sides. I strongly disagree. Now, Josh Quinlan is coming off back-to-back losses against long, rangy strikers. Trey Waters, a long, rangy guy, really good at picking his shots. He's really good at fighting on the back foot. He's a really good counter striker. He would wait for Quinlan to throw a strike, and then he would just, step back and fire off a counter shot of his own. And Danny Barlow, obviously, he's just a quicker version of Trey Waters, quicker and more powerful. So obviously he did more of the same to Josh Quinlan, except he beat the absolute dog shit out of Josh Quinlan really bad. I mean, that was a brutal fight, brutal loss. But Adam Fugitt, it's a really big step down for Josh Quinlan, in my opinion. Adam Fugitt, he's way slower than Danny Barlow. He's way slower than Trey Waters. His striking is really slow. His footwork's really awkward. And Adam Fugitt does have a 5-inch reach advantage, but his strikes are just a little too slow. He doesn't have any pop in his shots. When I watch Adam Fugitt, I don't see any snap in his jab. I don't see a lot of power. I don't think he's going to be able to keep Quinlan at bay by just throwing out soft little jabs. I don't think he's going to earn the respect of Josh Quinlan. I think Josh Quinlan is going to blitz in and find the chin of Adam Fugitt and probably put him out in round 2. Adam Fugitt is tough. I could see this going the distance. But I'm going to say Josh Quinlan gets it done by KO in round 2 against Adam Fugitt. Next fight is Jimmy Flick versus Nate Maness, or Nate Maness. I've seen it pronounced both ways. I'm going to go Nate Maness over Jimmy Flick. Kind of a no-brainer. Jimmy Flick is just garbage. His striking is really bad. If Jimmy Flick wins this fight, it's going to be getting Nate Maness to the ground. Nate Maness, I don't care. I'm saying it both ways, so you can't say I'm wrong. He's got to get Nate Maness to the ground. And Nate Maness, his 3 losses, he lost to Tagir Ulanbekov, he lost to Umar Nurmagomedov, and he lost to Taylor Lapulus. Those are 3 really good losses to have in your career. Those are 3 really good fighters. And Jimmy Flick is just not on the level of those guys that Nate Maness has lost to. Nate Maness only beat Malcolm Gordon because Malcolm Gordon overextended on a shot and pretty much fell down, and Jimmy Flick hopped on him and found an arm triangle and choked him out. Nate Maness, he's too technical. I like his leg kicks. Jimmy Flick is really heavy on that lead leg. I think Nate Maness can tear up that lead leg of Jimmy Flick. I think he's going to stuff the takedowns. Jimmy Flick has really poor entries. Jimmy Flick, it's a guy, he struggles at getting you down, but if he gets you down, you're in trouble. He's got really good submission skills, but he just can't get you there. And Nate Maness, he's a pretty big guy for the division. He's 5'10" at flyweight, so I think he's going to be stronger than Jimmy Flick. Yeah, I'm going to go Nate Maness to win this fight by 3rd round KO over Jimmy Flick. I think he's just going to wear on that leg. Jimmy Flick is tough. Again, he survived a lot of damage in that Malcolm Gordon fight, but I think eventually it's just going to pile up, and it's just going to be too much for Jimmy Flick to handle. So I'm going to go Nate Maness to win this fight by 3rd round KO. Pretty easy one in my opinion. Next fight is Tagir Ulanbekov versus Josh Van. I really like Josh Van, man, but I think this is just a little too much too soon for him. Really young guy. He's only 22 years old. Really fun to watch. He's one of my favorite boxers. Really heavy volume striker. He really pours it on you. I like the movement. He's really good at cutting you off. He doesn't chase you around. He cuts you off. He gets you against the cage, and he just pours on combinations. Really good, diverse combinations. Mixes it up. Body, head, body. Just an incredible boxer. Really good cardio. Incredible gas tank. He can throw 300 strikes and not be tired. He has been dropped before, but he has really good recovery. Like he hopped right back up in the fight against Kevin Borjas. He got dropped, popped right back up, was perfectly fine. I like his recovery, but I think this is a bad matchup. Tagir Ulanbekov, he's got really good striking. He's got more ways to win this fight. I could see him dropping Josh Van, latching up a guillotine. I could see him taking down Josh Van, laying on him, finding a sub that way. I could see him outstriking Josh Van at range. He's got the reach advantage. He's just got too many ways to win this fight. I've got to go Tagir Ulanbekov. I really hope Josh Van wins this fight. I do. I'm going to be pulling for him. But this is just a tough one. Drew a tough hand here with Tagir Ulanbekov. I think I got to pick him. But I could see maybe he tires out Ulanbekov with the body shots and just pieces him up against the fence, gets a standing TKO, something like that. But just too many ways for Tagir Ulanbekov to win this fight. I got to pick him here. Now, Brady Hiestand versus Garrett Armfield. I'm going to go Garrett Armfield. When I was researching this fight, Brady Hiestand, he's 8-2, 10 fights. So I'm looking back at his fights. He lost to Ricky Tercios in the tough finale, and he lost to the Canadian guy Chan Helliger. Couldn't remember his name. But I'm looking at his record, and I see this guy on his Tapology page named, I've never seen this before, so I've got to talk about this. Brady Hiestand fought a guy named Shane Sargent. I don't know how you say it. Brady Hiestand was 4-1 when he fought this guy. Shane Sargent was 0-13 with 13 finishes. And when you click on Shane Sargent's Tapology, you get a warning that says, this fighter has been found by Tapology to have engaged in activity which does not conform to combat sports standards, has purposely participated in bouts with no reasonable path to victory, displayed a lack of competitive effort, and is unjustifiably matched against far more skilled opponents. So pretty much, in layman's terms, this guy's a fucking NPC bot that we throw in the cage with someone that we want to give a free win to. This dude is 46 years old. He's now 0-16. He hasn't fought since 2020. Well, he just fought last year, July of last year. So he's still fighting. Sorry. This guy is 46 years old, 0-16, 9 KO losses, 7 submission losses. He's been finished in every single fight. He's just paid to throw fights. That's what it seems to me. I mean, I've never seen that warning on any Tapology page ever. They're pretty much saying this guy is he throws fights. And that's one of Brady Hiestand's wins. So I just wanted to point that out. I've never seen that before. Insane. But yeah, I think Garrett Armfield's just gonna be too much for a guy like Brady Hiestand. Brady Hiestand doesn't really have it in the striking. I know he won his last fight, third round TKO with like 40 seconds left. He was getting pieced up in that fight, man. Like battered. He was gonna lose the fight, but eventually he gets the guy to the ground and finishes him off with really weak ground and pound, but the guy's just not moving. He's so gassed, he can't do anything about it. So the ref has to stop the fight. Just really poor performance. He looked really bad. I'm not high on Brady Hiestand at all. And Garrett Armfield, his last fight against Brad Katona, he looked sharp. He's a really good boxer. Really, really nice boxing. And what's most important, his takedown defense was really solid against a guy like Brad Katona, who is going to go out there and wrestle. That's his game plan. That's who he is. He is a wrestler. He's going to try to take you to the ground. Really strong guy. Really, dense build. Really strong wrestler. And he would get Garrett Armfield down sometimes, but even when he did get him down, Garrett Armfield would make his way to the cage, climb the cage, get back up, break the hands, separate. He would get back up from Brad Katona's takedowns. So if you're getting up from Brad Katona's takedowns, I don't think Brady Hiestand is going to keep you down. So, yeah, I got to go with Garrett Armfield. I think he's just going to stuff the takedowns of Brady Hiestand and piece this guy up on the feet. Just not there on the feet at all. Striking's really poor. I think Garrett Armfield is just too quick, too dangerous in the boxing. I think he's going to dominate Brady Hiestand in this one. I got to go Garrett Armfield by decision. Next fight, Asu Almabayev versus Jose Johnson. I'm going to go Asu Almabayev, but I'm telling you, Jose Johnson can chin this little dude. He's 5'4". He's got a big reach advantage, and I've noticed when watching back Asu Almabayev's fights, mainly against CJ Vergara, when he's exiting these close-range boxing exchanges, he's backing out with his chin up in the air and his hands either down by his waist or just outstretched like towards his opponent. He's leaving his chin up in the air. That's like boxing defense 101. You watch that in your first boxing class. This is what you don't do when exiting boxing range. Jose Johnson could find the chin. He likes the brawl. He can find the chin of Asu Almabayev in a brawl, in an ugly fight. Clips Asu Almabayev, drops him, finishes him off. But the thing about Jose Johnson is this motherfucker is allergic to takedown defense. I don't think I've ever seen him stuff a takedown. And Asu Almabayev, his fight IQ is too high. His takedown entries are too good. He sets up his takedowns so well with his striking. He waits for you to overswing. He dips under your shot, times a double leg, gets you down. He can get you down with trips in the clinch. Just too many ways for Asu Almabayev to get a guy like Jose Johnson down, who just has never taken an anti-wrestling class in his life. I think Asu Almabayev is going to just dominate him in a decision here, 30-27, with ground and pound control time, just dominating Jose Johnson on the ground. But again, I can see a Jose Johnson underdog win by clipping Asu Almabayev, putting him out. Leaves that chin up in the air too much. I don't like it. That scares me. But I'm going to go Asu Almabayev because Jose Johnson has no idea how to stuff a takedown. Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Miles Johns. Miles Johns is 14-2. How? I don't know. I'm going to go Douglas Silva de Andrade. He is older. I think he's like 38. But Miles Johns, man, he's a weird guy to watch on the feet. Just no technique. I don't want to say no technique, but he just strikes really strangely. He looked really weird in his last fight. I think Douglas Silva de Andrade is going to be able to stuff the takedowns of Miles Johns, and I think his shots are just far more technical than Miles Johns. I think he's going to piece him up with a straight shot, straight jab, 1-2s. Even though Douglas Silva de Andrade is old, I like his technique against a guy like Miles Johns, who's really like sloppy. But maybe this guy just has plot armor. He's 14-2. But I'm going to go Douglas Silva de Andrade to stuff the takedowns of Miles Johns, not get clipped by the the insanely odd striking of Miles Johns, and to just piece up Miles Johns with his jab. Keeping him on the outside with his straight shots, piecing up Miles Johns to a decision. I'm going to say 30-27, maybe 29-28. But I'm going to go 30-27 for Douglas Silva de Andrade over Miles Johns. Next fight is Timmy Cuamba versus Lucas Almeida. Lucas Almeida, I don't see it with him. Just got KO'd by Andre Fili, and then he lost to Pat Sabatini before that, I believe. Timmy Cuamba, I like him as a prospect. I like his striking. He did lose his last fight, but I think it was on short notice. But I like Timmy Cuamba here. Lucas Almeida, he looks like a guy that's scared to get hit, and it looks like a guy when you hit him, he kind of reacts really weird. Like every shot you hit him with, he's kind of like flying backwards. It's like he doesn't like to be hit. Timmy Cuamba's going to pour it on him. I really like Timmy Cuamba. I think he's going to get it done over Lucas Almeida. I'm going to say Timmy Cuamba gets it done by decision. No, I'm going to go KO. I'm going to go KO. Let's go round 1 KO. Why not? Round 1 KO for Timmy Cuamba. Lucas Almeida coming off a KO over Andre Fili. I think he's going to go back-to-back KOs for Lucas Almeida. Timmy Cuamba's going to get it done. Like his striking better. Lucas Almeida, nothing really stands out. Just really basic, really average guy. Timmy Cuamba, I like his power, like his speed. I think he's going to KO Lucas Almeida round 1. That's my pick. Co-main event, Ikram Aliskerov versus Antonio Trocoli. My God, Ikram Aliskerov is going to beat the dog shit out of Antonio Trocoli. Like, obviously. Short notice fight. I think he was supposed to be fighting Andre Muniz. Like, he's going from a guy that's inside the rankings, or maybe he's outside the ranks at this point. But either way, close to top 15. He was going to fight Paulo Costa at one point, and now he's fighting this guy who looks like he's fucking passed away. His picture's in black and white. This guy has no chance. Ikram Aliskerov is going to knock this guy out in round 1. Easy. He's 6'5". Good Lord. Okay, he's still going to get smashed, but I didn't know he was 6'5" at middleweight. That's insane. Ikram Aliskerov is going to destroy this Ken. Easy fight. I don't even know what the odds are on this, but I'm sure it's heavily in favor of Aliskerov. I'm going to go Aliskerov round 1 KO for Aliskerov. Round 1 sub, I could see that. This guy has no chance. I'm going to go KO round 1 Aliskerov. Nothing more to say. This guy's an absolute NPC bot. They're already preparing for his death against Ikram Aliskerov. They already know he's going to die. They got his picture in black and white. Let's move on. Main event, Alex Perez versus Tatsuro Taira. I was really considering Alex Perez here, but I'm going to go Tatsuro Taira. He did chin Mateus Nicolau in his last fight, but that guy's always a little chinny. And Tatsuro Taira, he's open on the feet. He's been dropped before. His striking isn't the best, but it's improving. But Alex Perez, if you know anything about MMA, if you know anything about the UFC, Tatsuro Taira is a miserable matchup for Alex Perez. I mean, look at their styles. Tatsuro Taira, incredible submission artist. One of the best submission artists in the UFC. Alex Perez is allergic to not being submitted. So, yeah, it's a tough matchup, clearly. But Alex Perez, he's got decent takedown defense. He's a hard guy to get to the ground. But if Tatsuro Taira can get him to the ground, Alex Perez is going to go to sleep. Tatsuro Taira is going to choke this guy out. But it's just, can he get him there before Alex Perez chins him? Because Alex Perez does have power in his hands. And Tatsuro Taira is open to be hit on the feet. So it's just, maybe Alex Perez times an uppercut on a takedown. Something like that. I could see that. But I'm going to trust in the youth of Tatsuro Taira. He's hungry. He wants it. He doesn't even necessarily need a takedown off of Perez. I could see him just finding the back, standing against the cage. You know, maybe Perez turns against the cage. Tatsuro Taira finds his back. That way it gets it standing. Trip in the clinch. Something like that. That could be an easier path than shooting his doubles or singles. Maybe work in the clinch, find a trip or something like that, get Perez to the ground. I think if he gets him there, the fight is won. Perez is just, he's a guy that gets subbed. He gets subbed all the time. Tatsuro Taira, I'm going to trust in his ability to get Perez to the ground and find the submission on him. I'm going to say he gets it done in round 2 by sub over Alex Perez. Yeah, I'm going to trust Tatsuro Taira to get this one done. I'm going to go round 2 sub for the youngster in the main event. But yeah, that's going to be it for UFC Fight Night Vegas 93, Perez versus Taira. Let me know what you guys think about my picks. You agree, disagree, whatever. My locks for this card. Ikram Aliskerov, easy lock. I hardly even count that as a lock. He's like a minus 1,000 favorite. I'll give you guys a real lock right here. Garrett Armfield over Brady Hiestand. I think that's a lock. I think Nate Maness over Jimmy Flick is a lock. And I'm going to say Jeka Saragih over Westin Wilson. Those are going to be my locks of the card. Parlay those together. Go win some money. I'm telling you, can't miss. But yeah, those are my picks. Those are my locks. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree, disagree, whatever. And I will see you Saturday night after the card.